Ladies, gentlemen, and motherfucking Reese's pieces between yo. This is yo boy, yo dude, yo nig, that spick. Yo, this is so Papo with another episode of the So Papo Incognito podcast. We call that around here the Spick podcast, formerly known or Vesses, and sometimes maybe the IBHN podcast. Again, the I'm Black, He's Mexican podcast, where I am both the nigga, the spick, the kike, and the self-righteous Republican, all rolled up into one. That's a whole lot of crazy, wouldn't you think? And I would also believe, again, if we're thinking along those lines, that I have to be a difficult person. Now, most times that you hear someone say, you gotta, I'm so difficult, I'm so hard to deal with, thank you for putting up with it. It's usually a bitch. Now, I'm not putting this upon it being a female versus male thing, because I've been #MeToo'd too much around this bitch to ever eloquate something so meaninglessly. I'm talking about just someone who complains. And I am a complainer. Who the fuck wants to deal with complaints? Yeah. Sometimes it could be entertaining, though. And then sometimes it could just be jabbering. Or if not jabbering, then jaking. Not jaking. Jimmy and shanking. Some kind of uncomfortable gesture that, again, leaves someone in the fritz. And I realize that I do this a lot. And I don't do this shit purposefully. It's just that sometimes I feel like some people can take it and some can't. And at the same time, I can't take a joke against me at all. So I can't imagine someone having to deal with my constantly defending, constantly, radar set to stun sort of shits. And so I have no idea how people can deal. And I realize that I get myself in the shits so much that I wonder if those just aren't the best places for me to, to be. And I'm being real broad, I guess, in what I'm describing. However, for any insight, further scoop, juiciness, and details, y'all can listen to the Two Spicks in a Pod episode of the Soap Opera Sessions, or which I might just develop into something else in its entirety. Before that point being, that's what that'll be. So y'all will hopefully have seen that before you get to this. So I don't have to do too much, because I want to give y'all the news. And there's been a lot of shit that's been popping off so much where it's like, it's the same old. So this is definitely going to be a very quick episode, because I want to just give you all the guh, none of the ugh. And one of the things that made me go ugh, because it took so motherfucking long, that Dallas police officer, Amber Guyger, Guyger, she finally got fired for fatally shooting Donathan Jean, who was the black guy in his own apartment when she came out of a 12-hour shift, boo fucking who, into the wrong floor, into the wrong room, supposedly shooting this guy to death. That's what the fatally part meant. And she wasn't arrested right away. She didn't, just automatically get into some shit over this, because it being a self-defense thing, it being what they would count as an accident, it doesn't make too much sense. But that's what ultimately popped off. And she finally got fired for it. And again, white cop, black innocent bystander, supposed to send an uproar. Honestly, didn't seem like it did. And as fucked up as this sounds, because mind you, I'm not out in Texas, so I can't imagine what kind of hoopla. But as far as the impressions that I'm getting from this, or just more reporting on it, it just didn't seem like too many people gave a fuck. And it's weird how you can have something so cut dry, so right to the jugular, as far as this versus that, and guess who fucking lost? And it was just handled so much easier. Like, I'm wondering, are we becoming diluted from, or not dilute, it's just so, yeah, that word, over not, from like your Trayvons and things of that nature, where it's like, it's just exhausting. Like, it's been 5 years. Like, not to say that killing niggas is ever out of fashion, because it seems to be a constant thing, horrible joke included. It just seems like it goes so easily forgotten now, and it's messed up. And I hope that's not the case. I'm hoping this is just a self-righteous Republican playing PR campaign, fire blower, and hoping that this shit simmers down and people don't focus too much on it. But when I think of that, like, it's that's mad embarrassing. And again, I just hope it's not me just having a dark mind. It's just what I'm seeing. Same thing like when we look at Trump, like, motherfucker, I wouldn't say what I say about what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing if I wasn't fucking listening and fucking viewing it. And when, like, for Trump, for example, he was giving some kind of fucking speech in front of the United Nations, and he was bragging about himself, and these motherfuckers were chuckling. Now, I couldn't quite get in the context that they were laughing because he was making a joke. I honestly didn't get exactly what I was seeing, because most videos now, when I try to go back to it to hear the audio, seems to be lost or can't ever be loaded. And I'm not screaming conspiracy theory, but that's kind of what that seems like. And yeah, so I'm wondering, like, this obviously covering that up. They're getting smarter about all the evidence that we put out there. And again, I couldn't tell if they were laughing with him or if they were just laughing that he was so egotistical. Either which way, his ego is getting stroked like a bitch with lube in a porno, getting ready to put that elsewhere. And of course he loves it. You know what I'm saying? He fucking blows up by it. He fluffs himself. And again, when you're so narcissistic and so selfish, like, to stay on a single track railroad is very, very easy to continue and keep charging and gaining steam and velocity. And I'm not too sure how other countries view it, because if we could be so disgusted with ourselves, how much more the rest of the world? Know that we're not all like that. Know that we see this, we know it's a shit show, and we have no idea what you plan on doing, because you would figure that there's nonsense happening here, but it's just a front. Whatever the fuck it is that we're fronting, I have no idea. I'm not in the know. I'm reading two fucking headlines, but understand that there's something a whole lot deeper to it. So again, for those that are living out here with me, we gotta figure out what's really being done, because we're being led blindly. And the blind leading the blind don't take no one over anything but a fucking cliff. So again, off of hard ledges that are difficult to come down from most easily, he literally did that. A 3D gun pioneer Cody Wilson, he resigned as head of the Defense Distributed, who were doing the like the fucking shit just said, 3D gun printing. And it was a big deal because at first they wanted to make it illegal, and we had to take it down off the internet. Then of course, because they had the plans, they're able to sell them. So as long as they're being sold and they can be taxed somehow, possibly, maybe, who the fuck knows, it's not a loophole for that, then they become available again. 3D printing guns is very scary, because not only can that bitch go through metal detectors and whatever the fuck we would consider some sort of preventive measure from stopping the use of such deadly force, we really fucking don't. At least not that technology can showcase to us yet. At least technology that's most readily available to us. It costs a couple $1,000, but considering what you can distribute and the damage that you can do, that sounds like a mighty fucking good investment. Not that I'm fucking giving any sort of advice, because I surely am not. I'm talking about how fucking scary it is and the dangers that it can bring. Alright, that's just in the fucking United States. It's moving on forward towards the world. And in bow to Israel and just all around showing your dick, my niggas in Russia sent Syria powerful anti-craft missiles, which again, we're seeing the forces that we're up against. We see them helping each other out. We see them building up against us. Who the fuck do you think is gonna shout? And where do you think it can happen from it? Now we're talking about neighbors that, again, we can't help that they're neighbors, but we, for some fucking reason, think we can help in their war. So again, we're seeing the oppressors, if you want to label it that, the aggressors, if you want to label it that, from what we can see. But technically, the fucking bad guy, sorry guys, I love you guys, but you guys are the bad guys right now, and you guys are helping other bad guys, going against other people that are our homies and our friends. And how can we not be stuck in the snickle fritz of shits if people that are considered the bad guy, that for whatever reason we have some kind of business ties to, which doesn't let me know whether or not we're also the bad guy or we're the good guy, because the other good guy, aka Israel, is stuck in the middle of such powerful countries against them. So that's a big fucking deal. That is why, for any of my church folks out there, they say pray for Israel, and they can use a whole lot more than prayers right now, because as you can see, they're getting backup. So thoughts, prayers, and hope goes out to them and their struggles and their constant fighting. I don't know if y'all remember a couple stories weeks back. There was intel on how their neighbors would send bombs over the border, and they would do it with fucking inflated condoms that were Mazel Tov cocktails. And the irony of a cocktail and a condom being so interwoven is crazy. All right, moving on over to business. My business. Anyways, speaking of gay shit, Michael Kors is buying Versace as it tries to build a luxury brand, taking up Europe and of course every other motherfucker from around these parks. And I feel like it's smart. I obviously Versace has been around longer and will continue to be longer than as is the fucking song that made it kind of relevant in the Vine days with the Drakes and the whatnots. I think it was one of the first Migos songs. I don't know how commercially corporate that fucking whole entity of being is, but they're out there. You know what I'm saying? They're buying up things. Just last year, they bought Jimmy Choo's. And, you know what I'm saying, that's a big deal when it comes to corners of the whatchamacallit, you know what I'm saying, you want, when you want to attack apparel, especially in the fancy smancy of shit, because womanship becomes so universal as far as, whatever kind of faggotron shit that we're pushing. Like, you think about, you gotta own the shoe market, bam. You gotta own the handbag market, which I forgot who bought over Kate Hudson, Kate something, Kate, the one with the husband and the thing, she just committed suicide. I can't believe I forgot. Maybe I should switch it on over. Instagram co-founders leave Facebook, who has been owning them since 2012. And then there was also another falling out from the motherfuckers at WhatsApp, because they again were another entity bought over by Facebook, maybe used for the infrastructure for their database. I don't know. Its importance in having to be on your phone, whatever little way that they can inch in, that's what they're gonna do. So a lot of times, again, the reason why you would buy up other brands is so you can own their corner of the market to again become the big fucking conglomerate. And so again, that's a big fucking deal. And as much as I like IG, I don't fuck with WhatsApp because I don't need any other fucking third party having access to that shit, as well as Facebook. Just being one of the biggest villains of the devil. So, and again, everything is asked how you use it. So whatever. But still, again, we need to know. I think it should be known, all those people that are in your pocket, just because, especially if they're able to take what they want and do what they will with it, that's a bit dangerous. All right, so there's something I guess not so much, other than again cover up Dunkin' Donuts, as what they're going to formally be known as, is dropping the word donuts as they try to find a way to rebrand itself as more of a beverage sort of company, because they say that coffee in itself is 60% of its revenue, but think about how much of it isn't. That 40% still big fucking number. But again, to try to shy away from sounding fatty or full of calories. They don't want you to think donuts. Yeah, we'll suck your ass into getting a donut when you come get a coffee, because we have other delectable treats, but we don't want you to think about the donut part. We want to get you on the coffee part, again, on some Starbucks shit. Can't be mad at them, but also be aware of what they're doing and what they kind of sneak up on you. So when you think of healthier options, know that they're still going to try to sucker you some other which way. And Arby's parent company, they're actually buying out the burger chain Sonic's. I'm not too sure if you got Sonic's out there, but they bought them up for $2.3 million. Sonic's is kind of like almost, it seems like a retro throwback to, Burger and Shack places from back in the day, because usually they try to hire cute girls and then they'll be on roller skates, and it's just a winning combination, dying breed of attraction, but it's something. So I'm not too sure what they're trying to do with it. I'm not too sure what a motherfucking place like Arby's is going to do, because it just reminds you of nasty coochie. Although, when you slap some cheese on it, again, you don't want that on coochie. It's really fucking delicious. I remember me and Master Bruce, a.k.a. Wolf, a.k.a., my brethren, we would go out for, fat person meals or fat attacks, or just going out to eat in general. I remember going out to one of his places where his homie had to connect on that nacho cheese, and very scrumptious, very delicious, very fattening. They also, I didn't know this, had bought over Buffalo Wild Wings, which again, I don't know if you'll have that, but you have it at, but again, it's just an overglorified wing spot that can be pretty popping, because they add the elements of a nighttime bar, and then, all the bullshit that comes along with it, watching sports. But of course, just chicken wings in general is the shit, and will definitely give you the shits, possibly, depending on what you get. And they also own, I didn't know, a Mexican restaurant called the Rusty Taco. I've never been there. I'm pretty sure we have it in more of our hipster areas out here, but I haven't seen that. That's a funny name. I wouldn't ever want to eat a Rusty Taco, but, it is what it is. And with that energy of it is what it is, it being, let's get into some entertainment news. Normally, one of the things that we always direct ourselves into whenever the fuck we want to ignore something very important that needs to be taken care of now, that happens. Anyways, entertainment, as far as just something else from what the fuck our objective is. Anyways, and I totally lost the fucking segue I was trying to bring this bitch into. But in the news of unfortunateness, I'm not too sure. I'm trying to talk about Bill Cosby, y'all. Finally got sentenced. He, for whatever reason, is still in the air of doing anywhere from 3 to 10 years, which I'm not fucking sure, because I thought we got ruled the goddamn verdict. I'm not too sure what kind of ampular behavior they expect for him to fucking have and showcase to the world to be able to liven up his sentence, because I thought, I don't know, maybe I should have done more research. But what I laugh about, because obviously justice is nothing to laugh at unless you're laughing at him for finally getting his just desserts from something in 2004, doesn't begin to in-shout all the other fucking rapes that he's given. O.J. Simpson chimed in, and I thought that was the most hilarious, because for y'all that don't know, I don't know how you would. Y'all could probably pause this right now. Do your Googles, but I don't want you to leave. O.J. Simpson, former NFL star, then turned movie crossover celebrity, because he was on Naked Guns. I can't think of anything else that he might have been on. But anyways, he, possibly murdered his wife and her lover. Some conspiracy theorists think it might have been Kris Jenner, originally at the time Kris Kardashian. Whatever beefs, shits that might have gone on. Figure it's easier to pin on the black man and have him catch the case, but he got away. And then end up getting popped over stealing some merchandise that he ended up having to sell because of all this fucking legal woes, which really came full circle, kind of. Maybe people got all over it. Black people still defend him. Either which way, what makes it funny is that he, who again did a long stint in the joint, as they say, was telling that, he better have protection. Yeah, no shit. But he also saying, which he probably would, having as much money as I'm sure that he has. He was also making more references to the fact that Bill Cosby would need to be careful because, again, he's going in there for rape. So people who usually get in on sexually incriminating offenses usually end up getting raped, which is, I guess, a sweet justice slash injustice if you're in there for a fucking parking ticket, but you happen to cross the wrong bull queer. That shit pops off. So again, will that be his just desserts? I mean, it's kind of hard to say, just because, whether or not you want to slut shame someone into thinking that they could have, not have gotten so sexually when being in this fucker's crosshairs. It could be just desserts, and it's scary to think, because I wouldn't want myself in that situation, but at the same time, like, look what you done did, and that's what you gon' done get. As they would say in the South, possibly. I'm not too sure. I'm from Southwest. Anyways, psychologists are saying that Cosby, and again, this is, I guess, what they got off of, the whole interacting and trials and shit, is that he was a predator with uncontrollable urges. Now, how dangerous is a motherfucking predator with uncontrollable urges? Meaning you cannot stop, and once your dick is out, it's gonna do some damage. Like, that's scary. That's something that, would need some kind of castration. And I know that sounds unpopular to those that just are trying to have fun. And did not Cynthia Lauper tell us that girls, they want to have fun? But at the same time, especially with all the Kavanaugh shit that you're hearing about, and how, back in the day it was totally cool to pull a train on someone because they knew what they were getting into, but at the same time, sometimes no, they don't, and some douchebags literally try to enable someone to where, again, they're out of their fucking wits so that they can't say no. Like, that's evil. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing for you to have a few drinks with someone, then willingly, getting to the point that they get to, where, again, this was the buildup of the night, where it wouldn't end that way. Again, and that, again, is shaky ground, but I'm not talking about that, because, again, there's gray area, but then there's simple black and white, and not to throw the black into being the negative of filters, but, for this essence and for this case, that's as black and as evil as you can possibly get. As far as, again, forcibly, knowingly, tripping someone and taking advantage of them while they're on the ground. You know what I'm saying? It sounds, I can't even talk about it sometimes, especially not by myself in the motherfucking closet. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm just, having all my split personalities chime in. Like, it's beyond that. And again, he's serving his time. I'm hoping that that's enough for those who have suffered and who have been hurt to be able to, get some sort of, not satisfaction, some sort of conclusion. But understand too, and this is what Penn, what's the hell's his name? Actor, he was in Milk. I can't think of Sean Penn. He got a lot of shit for, talking about the Me Too movement being, men versus women kind of thing, because obviously there's double standards for everything. I mean, we can't help that. Those are either loopholes or those are excuses, or, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And me recently, again, I don't even remember saying it. I remember thinking it, which makes me feel maybe I did say it, but making a reference about prostitution, which I'm not condoning nor encouraging, but nor could I think of who the fuck I could have trusted to make that joke with. And I rustled feathers to where HR had to get involved. Like, really, bitch? I'm not saying go sell some pussy. I'm not saying I believe in this. And I'm also not saying in some states it's just a misdemeanor. But for people can get so offended and so hurt, and sometimes just need ammunition to throw at you. And guess what? This is the day and age where guys have fucked up for too long. So if you fuck up at no matter how minuscule, or I don't even want to say unrelated, because it's all is relative, you know what I'm saying? Thanks a lot, Einstein. That, shit can pop off from such simple things. And I wish all the evils and tyrannies weren't making the ground like eggshells. That's all I gotta say about that. Ireland Baldwin, speaking of hoes, says that her cousin Haley Baldwin and Justin Bieber's engagement was a long time coming. Now, the only reason I'm mentioning this, because it was actually a shit ton of breakups, and I don't know what I did with that list, but I don't want to talk about breakups right now. It's too soon. They were already getting their prenups, you know what I'm saying? And one thing that I don't get, because there was a lot of back and forth, and I know that when you're trying to flesh out your relationship, you gotta play the field, so to speak, to know where you stand. I always thought, him and Selena Gomez were gonna be something, like his Christianity and then her doing covers of some Christian songs, which I hope makes her a Christian. I'm not too sure. I couldn't say. Just speculation. It made me feel hopeful. You know what I'm saying? Hoping that they can be the super power group that, you know, are pop based, and then, you know, turn to a life of Christ, and then people start, you know, believing again, because obviously there's never ending amounts of shits that would make you lean against the religion, especially with Catholicism taking the fucking nasty dips that it has. It's sad, and of course it makes you want to go away from everything that you're hearing. And you, of course, it's not difficult to find, like, ladies, I'm sorry, I'm gonna call y'all out. Y'all go through your man's phone or your woman's phone, depending if you're the butch or the femme. You're going through your significant other's phone, and it's not going to be difficult to find something you're not going to like. Whether it's a screenshot, whether it's a fucking message, which again, that's where, you know, start getting into the nitty gritty of it. Because then, what the fuck are you reading? Are you getting mad because I made a joke, or are you getting mad because, you know what I'm saying, someone was obviously caught cheating? There's a clear fucking difference, and when someone's just talking shit, I don't give that the same punishment you would someone actually being guilty of something. I'm calling myself out on that one right there, but you know what I'm saying? Come on now. You know, we're too easily offended and broken by shit. Take that shit for what it is and base your opinion on that person, but don't fucking wage war over any fucking dumb bullshit. And then again, stand up for yourself when it's time. So again, there's fine lines. Hopefully we can see that line and tread forward. That brings me on over to Lindsay Lohan and her getting smacked, and I hope it was the fucking face, by a Syrian mom who was getting accused of trafficking her children. Now, this happened, I think, in Paris, or I don't know, this bitch was in Russia, and I think it was Paris. Lindsay Lohan walking the streets, sees a Syrian family, mom, dad, 2 or 3 siblings, sleeping on the street, you know, in blankets. You know, they're together. I'm not too sure what kind of interaction they're having, because this bitch is fucking walking around IG live in her little interaction. And when she sees these people, she's trying so hard to, like, get them to go to her hotel. At first, she just wanted to take the kids, which seems super creepy. And like, bitch, what are your intentions? Of course, you know, I probably wouldn't get mad, Lindsay Lohan fondling me. But then again, you know what I'm saying, I've known her since Parent Trap, so come get the fuck out of here. But she was really trying hard to take the kids for the night, and then she asked for the mom to come too, but not the dad, because obviously it's another man. And I'm not too sure what the fuck she was trying to get from that, but she kept on picking them and bugging them, and it got to the point to where they had to fucking leave because this bitch wasn't continuing by her merry way. No, she was following them as they're walking. And what the trippiest thing about it is that she's fucking speaking part Arabic, part Russian. And I'm like, holy shit, bitch. Like, I get it. Assyrian, you're going to use your Russian and your, you know, saying Arabic tongue. Which, again, very impressive. I find that very sexy. But at the same time, bitch, why are you continuing to bother them? Why are you still trying to pry them away? Who the fuck made you the hero? You tried. They're literally walking away from you. And I'm surprised the husband didn't say more, do more, which makes me wonder what the fuck was he guilty of, unless he was just smart to not want to fucking engage with the bitch. The fucking mom had to smack you the fuck up to get you to back up. And then it was so funny that when she did get smacked, she's totally fucking oblivious to, why did she hit me? Bitch, you're following her. They were sleeping in the streets. You're bothering them, and you made them leave from their little area. That who knows if that, you know, how long they had to fight for that area. You know what I'm saying? So many things that just didn't make any sense. And if that's not entertainment, if that's not true exploit, I don't know what is. I'm baffled by it. I want to move on over to sports. I don't know shit about sports, which I guess is why I only have one topic on the case, and it's still mostly for the entertainment factor. Tiger Woods. If y'all know of him, you probably seen his video games. He's a golfer. He definitely got pimped for all that he could, as much as you could make commercially successful golf, especially to a young urban demographic. But anyways, Tiger Woods, half nigga, half Asian of I don't know what sorts. It could be Korean. Forgive me for the broad identification. Anyways, he got in a scandal 1-2 years ago, maybe more. I forget how long it's been. Where, you know what I'm saying, he had a bit of a fucking problem. You know what I'm saying, sleeping with hookers, porn stars. Which basically the same thing, and other sorts of escorts. And wife didn't like it. Kind of was a big deal. She left, I'm sure, with milking off of fucking alimony. And of course, he moved on because he slangs dick. You know what I'm saying? He's a cocksman. So why wouldn't he be living his best life? Anyways, he, which is in his late 40s now, has some chick in her early 30s, but she looks worn the fuck out. Not a bad looking broad, but you know what I'm saying? You could tell she done lived a full life. And anyways, I started cracking up and also happy, I guess, because I didn't realize this fun fact that he had won his first tour victory, or I guess it's the same thing. He won his first tour since 2013. So again, I don't think the heat was on him since 2013, but even if it was, that's when he started losing his cool. So fuck, it might have been quite a few, way more years ago that this popped off. Maybe I'm just thinking that he was been with this bitch since 2016 or 17, which again, definitely some time, because you figure celebrities or athletes would have be hit and quit, especially for him being known to hit, pay, and quit, or maybe pay, then hit, then quit. I don't fucking know how it works. Anyways, yeah, first victory, and I'm sure it's been a long time fucking coming. And when I saw a picture, because of course motherfuckers took pictures of the occasion, it just really made you feel like, damn man, like hopefully, you know what I'm saying, for those few of you caught an L, but now you finally bounced back. Shit. God bless any bounce back story.
Yeah. So moving on over to science, because we're getting to the end of the show, and I don't really got too much scientific or much of my call it matter for you to wrap your head around. But I did want to bring up this interesting article that I saw that brought up that the planet Earth is wobbling as it spins, and it's pretty much because we're all fucking lopsided. In essence, they're saying that because of melting ice caps, rising sea levels, as well as like land mass expanding upward, which I'm guessing is from population, from us actually building shit, from us kind of giving the earth a weird fucking, what's the word? Equilibrium? Something like that. It's pretty much throwing it off balance. Like legit, we're getting to the point where we're already aggravating the earth by, again, adding more weight on one side, pushing on the water on this side, and moving things around on the whatever fucking side, all the way, all around, every fucking side. And that's kind of scary, because you figure when we've had mass extinctions, it's because, again, we're doing shit to the earth we probably shouldn't have. Not to say that the dinosaurs had anything to do with anything like that, although there is some sort of theory on that essence as well. I mean, shit, it could be on some Sodom and Gomorrah. It can be on some Noah's Ark. It could be on so many different levels to where, again, the world has a way of cleansing itself. And I think that's kind of gnarly to think about. So I'm just throwing that out there. The world really is wobbling. I'm not too sure how that affects gravity, or if somehow we'll be fucking thrown in for a fucking loop, or for like some kind of fucking marble skidding off whatever fucking pond that is the universe, and if that sends us into any other sort of pull, I have no idea. But that's very gnarly and very, I don't know, just sit with that notion, okay? Moving on over to some health tidbits for as unhealthy as my shit is. I did want to note, and for any of us soon-to-be mothers out there, that breastfeeding not only is better for your baby's weight gain, but it's really pretty to see. I googled breastfeeding. I was like, oh, there might be the clip art from whatever that you see out there. But again, breastfeeding is better in comparison to pumping, which of course would be way better than whatever fucking formula, even though I'm pretty sure that might be healthier than most titty milks out there. Still, again, I'm not too sure it's because they're having a suck for each pull, and it's not just fucking being not peer pressured, but fucking, pushed down with pressure from them sucking the nipple, that it causes it to force into them. There's some sort of science behind it. Either which way, scientists figured it out. And again, breastfeeding, not only adorable, not only sexy, but also beneficial to your baby's weight gain. So again, y'all can look at links and articles to everything that I'm damn near discussing at the links below, or however it is that you're consuming this. I'm on SoundCloud, pretty much every other podcasting up there with Apple Podcasts, and if you're on Android, again, however you consume things, you can find me there, as well as the YouTubes at Papo. But before I wrap up, because it sounds like I'm trying to bow out already, I do have two WTF what the fuck bits of news for your that ass. Now, a Florida man involved in a hit and run after fucking helping a stranded vehicle. Now, this is really messed up, and I'm trying to pull up the man's name, Dimitri Andoni, Andoni. Anyways, he's 27, up in Florida. He was headed north on Interstate 275 in St. Petersburg, and he had lost control of a vehicle after he had stopped in the highways median, trying to help some other innocent bystander. So again, he helps them out, pulls them out, forget does what, and in comes Dana Thomas Bird, B-Y-R-D, looking like a scary looking Jesus with his hair chopped off. And dude tried to carjack his ass, so who knows who his accomplice was, because he came in a fucking truck and jumped in this motherfucker's car and pretty much, left him there to die. And so, again, jumped in the strapping vehicle and dipped out. Can't really tell if it was some sort of ambush. Can't really tell if it was like a fucking cat-mouse game of see who the fuck helps this person. I'm going to run over the next one. I wish there was more details, wish there's more tidbits. Again, I will include the story in the links below so y'all can take a look at it. But it really did confuse me. It made me just think, what the fuck? A goddamn good Samaritan did a good deed and getting killed in the process. And I pray that forgave him for whatever sort of sins. Hopefully, I don't know, I ain't God, but you would hope. Because, you're trying to do something good, and it's like, you end up getting the shits of it. Someone understand that situation. You feel like you're doing your godly due diligence, even though, you may not be, the most excited about it. And then you realize, this really wasn't for me. Again, not encouraging the bad guys of the world, just everyday life decisions that, in order to preserve or to save, ends up fucking scathing us and costing us. And I hope that we're able to learn the errors of our ways before it gets that deep up in it. But again, like life, some shit comes to you and you can't really stop it from coming to you. And there was recently a box of donated bananas, again in good old Texas, and turns out that 500 and some odd packages of it, or I'm sorry, from the bulk of what this was, 540 packages of these said bananas, or packages of cocaine, estimate the street value of $17,820,000. That's a lot of coke. Now, the reason I mention this is because I'm thinking, what the fuck could have happened that, because obviously that couldn't have been no mistake. Unless for whatever reason this drug dealer also is a philanthropist and, does his donations, and he happened to cross fucking pollinate those boxes. Obviously it seems like it would have been an excuse to package or cover up or what have you. And whenever they made the fucking drop, they didn't take the coke out, which almost makes me wonder if it was supposed to fly under the radar as that donation. Someone happened to report it. Fuck, you just cost us at least 10 mil. Because if it's worth 17, depending on how big the cut, still, that's a lot of coke. And I remember once, and I always kind of go back to the story because mind you, it wasn't like it was the biggest haul in the world, and it wasn't like it could have set me off into Easy Street, but at the time, it could have done something, if not at least provided me something to enjoy, although I would have definitely sold it. I remember this is back in a mall in Tempe called Arizona Mills, and it was
probably one of the first up and coming remodeled brand new malls with the, you know what I'm saying, with the voiceover works in the doorways and the automatic doors and the whatnots. It was state of the art for the time being. And I remember there was a Home Depot next to it. I'm not sure what the fuck I was doing walking around those streets, because I remember always having a car for the most part, unless for whatever reason I was found without one, in which case I don't know what the fuck I was doing at the mall, because I wouldn't be going to some place like that. But regardless, I'm going on my way to that mall or from around there, because I remember it was at a Home Depot right across from it, that there was a truck, and it smelled a lot like weed. And I remember something like a fucking cartoon of some kind of sweet scent in the air, and fucking Pepe Le Pew's fucking floating to it. Like, it was something like that. Led me to the truck, and the bed was full of fucking what looked like goddamn haystacks of marijuana. And I was so excited, and as much as I wanted to fucking just grab a handful, because I figured, motherfucker, it's out in the open, you know what I'm saying? And this shit looks like it's been abandoned, or, you know what I'm saying, waiting for someone to come and do a pickup. At that very instant, the paranoia, and I didn't even smoking any of it, I was like, holy shit, nigga, this is a sting operation, and they're around the motherfucking corner. I gotta get out of here right now. To think it was there for a few hours until the news had reported it later on that evening. I'm thinking to myself, damn it, I could have at least grabbed 2 handfuls, had myself a little fine how do you do and something dandy. I don't know how the term of phrase goes, but yeah, I was thinking to myself, like, yeah, I was just sitting there waiting for, you know what I'm saying, waiting for someone, at the same time scaring anyone who would have or could have thought of any sort of possibilities in doing so. So anyways, yeah, that was my lost business opportunity. But when I think back to it, I was like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if I would think to biblical times, you don't take all the fucking fruit. You pick what you need and be on your merry way. And I would have been pocket full of rosy posies, pocket full of sunshine. Yo, would you not believe it? I've been smoking this whole time as I've given you this bit of information, because I had a few moments to spare. And, why not enjoy yourself when you in the moment? And I feel like that's something that probably gets lost most, as far as being able to be in the moment. So many times we gotta comment on something, so many times we gotta publish it for others' consumptions, and I don't know what it is that we stop living for ourselves and start living for others. Not even in a selfless sort of aspect to where you're doing it for the kids. No, you're doing it because you feel like you have to do this, and you don't quite get to make your way from. I don't know what I'm saying. You might not understand. You might be like, yes, please continue. But I'm going to hit you with some other shower thoughts in the real mind of WTF, on some real what the fuck, on some real. Antarctica is more suitable for life than Mars, but we have yet to colonize it. Baking bread basically involves creating a rich and warm environment for species to thrive, then initiating a mass extinction event. Checkers, like chess, after the pawns overthrow the monarchy. Chris Hemsworth is best known for playing a character who throws a weapon that comes back to him. Chris Hemsworth is Australian, and do y'all niggas know about the boomerang? I think that's what it's called. Churches are just book clubs that never switch books. Crickets are really loud for something that gets eaten by everything. Going to school is like downloading 1,000 gigabyte updates at 5 kbps at a time. If spiders actually swung around like Spider-Man, they would be far more fucking terrifying, and we probably would have more love for. I'm doing my scratch by that doesn't make any sense. Forgive me. It feels like Kanye is just testing how low quality he can make his music while still getting people to listen to it. And if Jesus was an example of that, I fucking retract to I love it with fucking Lil Peep and that stupid fucking performance he just had on Saturday Night Live. Okay, this isn't so much factual, a little bit opinion based, but you see what I'm trying to do. It's a good thing decaying plants don't smell like rotting corpses, or else fall would be fucking traumatizing. One day you're going to think of someone for the last time and won't even realize it. Because, motherfucker, that was the last time. Swallowing has a cooldown. Tab is just a capital space. The fact that you procrastinate and still get shit done is the reason why you procrastinate. A robot uprising. It's a little less scary knowing technology these days is designed to break after 1 or 2 years. Message. We think elderly drivers are bad now, but wait until we have elderly drivers that also know how to use smartphones. When you eat a bunch of foreign food and your gas smells different, it's like farting in another language. Women are shamed for not shaving hair that grows naturally, while men are shamed for losing hair naturally. You can go anywhere in the world, but there is nothing more comforting than pooping in your own toilet. Last one. Zombies are the ultimate. If you can't beat them, join them. Motherfucker, that is the end of the show. Again, if you've been listening to this, I appreciate you. If you've been rocking with me, I love you. If you need blessings, then God bless you. And if you ever want to at me on most social medias, y'all can always go to Papo, that's SOULPAPO. Again, on most social medias, even if you're fucking playing online, get at me. Especially now that Fortnite does crossplay. And if you ever wanted to become a producer of the show, by all means, please give a nigga $1 sign. And you can go to www.patreon.com/SoulPapo. Again, SOULPAPO. I appreciate you. I fucks with y'all. And I hope that y'all do good. God bless you. Okay.